Good evening, everybody. It's been a long time since we met on this show. This is a real time with MK. We have been, I have been bringing on guests who could talk and give a lot of good insights on outsourcing and e-commerce outsourcing, business process outsourcing, customer experience, and more. So it's been a while since we met. Solely because of the busy schedule of all my guests, I've been waiting to get a right topic to kickstart 2021 edition of Real Time. So today, finally, we are here for episode 9 of Real Time. So we have a fantastic guest today, and we have a fantastic topic which will be exciting for e-commerce players, right? So today, we will be discussing. Sometimes what happens is, a service takes shape because of a necessity, right? So sometimes when we interact with our clients, we work with at MK, we work with a lot of e-commerce clients, and working with them, we become champions of some of the best practices of the industry, and we become like a go-to source for information for many of our clients. So that's how e-commerce benchmarking evolved into a service of its own in MK. So today, I have Vivek Anand. He is Senior Vice President Enterprise at MattsenKumar. He heads one of the biggest teams in MattsenKumar, who helps global and Indian e-commerce organizations with a lot of services. You have met him a couple of times on the show, and he is one of the go-to persons for e-commerce operations and process improvement and outsourcing. So he is, as I've introduced him already multiple times, he comes with a humongous 20 years of experience in operations, process improvement, change management, and program management. He's a certified Six Sigma Black Belt practitioner, and his area of expertise lies in program management, Lean, Six Sigma principles, and methodologies. So he's currently heading the enterprise group, as I mentioned. In his wide-ranging professional experience, he has worked as both internal and external consultant across various industries, including manufacturing, telecom, BPO, and consulting in India, Gulf, the Middle East, and USA. Right. So, without further ado, let me bring him on. Hey, Vivek, can you hear me?
Hey, Vivek. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Loud and clear.
Fantastic. So good to see you. And thank you for taking time out for the show once again. And I'm super excited about today's topic. I believe that I'm going to learn something new today.
Sure, Vivek. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure, as always.
Right.
So, and good evening, everyone. Good evening to everyone who has joined us today for this session.
Right. So today we are going to talk about e-commerce benchmarking and how it has proved already and how it can be a secret sauce or secret weapon for success or growth for e-commerce companies, right? So if you're ready, I have a set of questions for you. We can start one by one.
Sure, Vivek.
All right. So my first question, Vivek, is, whenever we have conversations with e-commerce company operations, folks, or even co-founder, the founding team, etc., they talk about various challenges they go through, especially last 1 year they have seen a lot of ups and downs. So if I have to ask you, what are the major challenges a modern e-commerce organization faces? What will those be?
Sure, Vivek. Yeah. So Vivek, we all know that it's an era where majority of transactions have gone online. Now we know if you want to, let's say, order food or purchase a product or maybe book a hotel, we have seen a great shift of all the transactions to the online marketplaces, right? And as you correctly mentioned, last year, I think COVID pandemic has had its role to play in this significant amount of shift which has happened to the online space. And it's not actually a question of whether I should be present online. If I am in retail space, there's no more a doubt that online presence is really important and it's really significant. And like any other industry, online space, online e-commerce, has its own set of challenges.
Right.
I'll specifically talk about two areas where which have a significant impact on customer experience, and if not handled properly for online retail companies, you will not be able to yield the benefits of the online space. And one of the areas is the catalog accuracy and the content richness, and the other one is product discovery.
Right.
So we all know, for any online e-commerce retailer, catalog is an important cornerstone, right? Creating an immersive, information-rich experience helps e-commerce businesses generate the interest among the visitors who have come to their platform, and then this helps in converting the potential customers into buyers. We all know that there are, I would say, there are certain disadvantages of the online space as well. Like in the offline space, when you go to buy a product, you are able to see the product in front of you. You are able to touch and feel the product as well, right? Now in the online space, how do we overcome this challenge?
Right.
So how an online e-commerce player overcomes this challenge is through detailed information about the product on the catalog itself. So
Right.
An e-commerce player needs to ensure that as much information as you can provide about the product in terms of product descriptions or product highlights or visual images, videos and images, all this is important, and it's not easy. It's not easy, so it's a big challenge.
Absolutely.
To handle this. The other area that I mentioned was related to product discovery. Again, in an online space, as an online player, you need to ensure that if a potential customer has come to the platform, the amount of time that the visitor takes to reach to the right product is minimal. Right, and there are a lot of things that can be done to improve to reduce this time to search the right product. Right. So and this is again a big challenge which e-commerce organizations face. The other challenge, which is again related to both these things, is now when you're online, you're not just present on one particular website. You're present on mobile. You have a mobile website. You have a mobile app. Then you have a desktop website, and you need to ensure that all these different platforms give exactly the similar kind of experience to the visitor. Right. And again, it's a challenge. So these are few challenges, and if handled correctly, this will definitely give you big boost in your sales, and you will be able to get the maximum benefit out of your online presence.
Absolutely, because as a user, whenever you go to a e-commerce platform and you search for a product, and if the product doesn't come with enough description, I'm not expecting a video or a 360 view or something, but enough description, that itself is a dampener for the experience. I
Absolutely.
might scoot over to Amazon or maybe Flipkart, or to name few of them. All right. So next question, a follow-up question to that. So how can these organizations, there are so many e-commerce players now, how can these guys tackle these challenges which you just mentioned?
Okay, yeah. So it's not an easy problem to solve. It's
right.
But it takes a lot of ongoing effort to solve these problems. But there are industry best practices available, which over a period of time, players who have been in this space for a longer duration of time have come up with these best practices. And any organization, either new or old, needs to ensure that that these basics are taken care of in order to ensure a great customer experience. Maybe the first thing that you need to do is to create a brand trust with accurate product information. As I mentioned initially, and as you were also talking about, that when you come to the platform in search for a product, you would expect detailed product descriptions which help you make informed decision. Now you need to as an e-commerce player, you need to ensure that all the different platforms on which you are present, be it mobile or be it desktop, you have the consistency of this information. You need to ensure that you are capturing the right kind of attributes. You are capturing the accurate information for these attributes. You are giving high quality visuals, images, videos about your product to the customer. The other thing that you can do is also ensure that you tag your digital product catalog carefully. And what I mean by this is that you need to think from customer's perspective. Let's say you are selling a product in apparel category, right? So you need to ensure that the kind of attributes that you have in your catalog capture the kind of information which a buyer would expect to know, right? Let's say in apparel category, it's not just the size of the apparel or the color of the apparel that is important, but also a lot of times as a buyer, I would expect that I would get to know the material of the fabric as well, right? So you need to capture those relevant attributes there in your product catalog. You need to also ensure that the data that you capture, as I mentioned, is consistent. So let's say very small example. Let's say for size, if you capture it as medium, large, and small, you need to ensure that in all your platforms it's captured the similar way. It's not you don't replace the word medium with the letter M or word large with the letter L somewhere else, right? Because this creates confusion. You also need to ensure that you offer alternate products to the customer, because again it's also about product discovery, to ensure that the time that a buyer takes to reach to the right product is minimal. And let's say even if you don't have the product, that the specific product that the buyer is looking for, do you provide alternate options to the buyers? Again, this is an important area that you need to work on. And this is how, as I mentioned, it has to be a continuous process, cannot be just a one-time activity. In this era, when your product catalog changes so frequently, with the new product ranges coming in, with the different kind of products coming in, you need to ensure that this is an ongoing activity and cannot just be a one-time activity.
Right. So, based on that answer, two things stood out for me. Number one is the players who are already established in the market, they have kind of hacked this process of delivering an excellent customer experience. So there are some best practices to be adopted from there, which smaller players can also copy them, imbibe the right practices from there, etc. And number two, product discovery or the customer experience improvement piece, it's an ongoing process. It's a never-ending process, basically, right? All right. That's very interesting, actually, for me. Okay, so now talking about best practices, let's come to the hero of today's show, which is e-commerce benchmarking. So I want to know, what is e-commerce benchmarking services and what kind of benefits can e-commerce organizations gain from these kind of services?
Sure, Vivek. So, Vivek, believe it or not, there are more than 20 million e-commerce sites currently functioning across the globe, and this number is actually increasing every single day.
Right.
And there's a mix of B2B sites, B2C sites. There are certain marketplaces which deal in all the different categories. There are certain marketplaces which are category specific. Then there are brand websites. There are category specific brand websites. So everyone, as I mentioned during the start of our conversation, that every one wants to get into the online space because it's proven that it yields great business ROI. So but at the same time, there's too much of there's stiff competition in this space. Every player feels the mounting pressure of this competition across the globe. So by studying the best practices and also by comparing yourself with your nearest competition, the e-commerce companies can understand the factors that drive the competition ahead. And with the right kind of insights, the companies can easily identify the areas of improvement and improve their processes for better performance. So and that is where e-commerce benchmarking really helps. So it's not just necessary for any new entrant into this space. It's also equally important for the existing players who have been in this space for even for the longest of the duration. The benchmarking against the competition or against the best practices is I think it's a must have, and really generates a lot of insights which you can then use to improve your overall processes.
Right. So talking about you mentioned benchmarking against competition as well as against industry best practices. So what kind of benefits can an e-commerce, if I imagine that I am the head of an e-commerce firm, and what kind of benefits can I expect if I engage an organization to do the benchmarking for my operations?
So as I mentioned, Vivek, you need to ensure that you are following the industry best practices. So and only the benchmarking against the industry best practices will tell you what are the areas of improvement for you. Right. Otherwise, every organization would try to work in its own silo and try to improve their own processes. But there are already proven best practices available which you can follow. And then also, as in the first step would be to benchmark against those best practices, identify the opportunity areas, identify the areas where you need to improve, and then start working on it. But the first step is to understand where do you stand currently against those best practices. Also against benchmarking against competition is important, because that will also give you an understanding that vis-a-vis the same best practices, where is your competition and where are you currently, and then how much do you need to improve? What are the that will also help you gauge maybe prioritize the focus areas, the immediate focus areas, right? You may not be able to work on all the best practices at the same time, but maybe if you benchmark against your competition, that will help you also prioritize your focus areas. So I would say, to summarize, the insights that you will get from this kind of an activity would be really beneficial for you.
Got it. Sometimes, it's a known fact that sometimes you can learn a lot from observing and studying your competition rather than looking somewhere else. All right. So talking about the major areas, based on your experience, which are the major areas where benchmarking services focuses on?
Okay. See, you can benchmark against anything. You can so when specifically talking about competitive benchmarking for an e-commerce player, you can benchmark against anything. You can do the layout comparison of your platform versus the competition's platform. You can do price comparisons. You can do the comparisons of the kind of attributes that you display for a particular vertical or a category versus what the competition does. You can also do benchmarking against the kind of product descriptions, the product highlights that the competition writes. So I think the two most important areas which you should benchmark against, and it covers, and these two areas covers most of the things that I just mentioned, are your catalog performance versus the industry best practices or the competition, and the second one is the product discovery. Okay. How you perform there versus your competition. So these are the two major areas, and these two areas covers most of the things that I just mentioned.
Got it. Product discovery is a very interesting area to focus on. So I want to know, I want to pick your brain on that. Product discovery, how does benchmarking services or benchmarking exercise help improve the same?
Okay. So Vivek, as I mentioned, that product discovery is, I would say it's an activity to arrive at the right product, and the product discovery time is the amount of time it takes to arrive at the right product on your platform. So the overall intent of any e-commerce online retail platform is to reduce this product discovery time. So as an e-commerce player, you need to ask certain questions to yourself. The first one is, are our visitors able to find the desired product faster? Are our customers easily able to navigate through the platform while searching for the products? Do we as a platform provide product recommendations to our buyers? Right. So these are certain important questions that you need to ask. And the three main areas of product benchmarking are site search accuracy, product recommendations, and navigational search. So these three main areas answer these three questions that any e-commerce player should ask.
Okay.
And if you allow me some time, I can go deep into these things. I hope that should be fine.
That's absolutely fine, Vivek. We love hearing to you.
Sure. So site search accuracy. I think most of the people present here would be able to understand this. So I'll not take much time explaining what this means is. But this is an important. It's a crucial element in product discovery. And what this means is that if a visitor is coming to your platform and using your query search and types a query there, are you able to provide the right product to the visitor? And there are a lot of things that can happen. One is maybe the product that the buyer is looking for is actually not available on your platform. Right, so which means that is one product which you have not sold on your platform. The other thing could be that yes, this is one of the product that you sell, but currently it's out of stock. Right. So in these cases, you will not be able to show the right product to the buyer. But at the same time, what is important is that rather than giving a message to the buyer that the product is not available or the product is out of stock, are you rightly substituting that product with a very similar product, with something which is very similar to what the buyer is searching for? That is critical here, right? The other area could be that the product is available now, but your system in itself is not able to understand the customer query. And even though you have the product, you miss out on the opportunity of selling that product because your system did not understand the product, the query, and did not give the right results to the buyer. Right. And there can be several reasons to this as well. Right. It's not just that the system is not able to understand, but why is the system not able to understand? Right? Is it because your system is not able to understand the spell mistakes correctly? Maybe while typing the query, most of us do that. There are spell mistakes while we are searching for the product. Is your system not able to understand the spell mistake and correct it and show the right product? Maybe there's a very long query. Now your system is not able to understand that long query. Long queries generally, I'll give you an example. Suppose you go to a platform and search for, let's say, Puma shoes for men less than 3,000 rupees, right?
Right.
Now this is a long query. Is your system capable enough to understand this long query? Because long queries are multifaceted queries. Now this has the vertical, which is footwear. This has the color, which is black. This has the price. So these are different facets. Is your system able to understand all these different facets or not?
Right.
Very critical here that the system should be able to understand this. Now, sometimes what happens is that your system understood the product, the query. Still, in terms of the top products or the products that you show on the top page, the relevancy of the products is lesser. You could have shown the most relevant products at the top and the slightly irrelevant products at the bottom of the page. So again, so these kind of studies happen in the site search accuracy. And these are the best practices. The things that I was talking about, these are the best practices. The established players keep working in these areas to ensure that these kind of errors don't happen on their platform.
Right. That's
yeah.
So that's just one facet you mentioned, right?
Yeah, this was about the site search accuracy. The other thing that I mentioned was within the overall product discovery is the product recommendations. Now product recommendations work in two different ways. One is the similar products, and the other one is the complementary products. So what does similar products mean is that now you have understood the customer query. You have given certain options to the buyer. Now you would not want the buyer to again go back to the query bar and again search using some other query search. So here on the product page itself, you because now you understand the customer requirement, or the customer intent, you provide options of similar products. So maybe customer may not like the first product that is shown to the customer, but because you have shown the certain options to the buyer, customer may pick one of those. One thing which is very important here is that when you're talking about similar products, you need to ensure that the price and specification relevance is kept, because you can't really. Customer is looking for a product in less than 3,000 range. You can't really show a product to the customer which is of 20,000 rupees, right? So even if you show that as a similar product, that will not give you any results. So price and similarly the specification relevance is also very important. You need to, because you have understood the intent of the buyer, you need to ensure that the similar products that you show also have similar specifications.
Got it.
Right? And so in terms of the other thing is here in product recommendations, the other thing is the complementary products.
Right.
Okay. So generally, this helps you increase as in upsell the products. So with certain kind of products, there are a few complementary products which go well with them. So again, you need to ensure that you are showing the relevant complementary products which are compatible to the main product.
Right. So from that such an in-depth answer that shows the intricacies or the details which go into delivering an exceptional experience to the visitors on any platform. Right. So that's one area which one focus area for benchmarking. The second one which you mentioned was catalog performance. Right. So how does benchmarking play a role in improving that?
Okay, so again, Vivek, there are certain best practices that you need to follow when you look at your catalog as a whole. So as I mentioned, that catalog accuracy and content richness is very important here.
Right.
The information that you provide to the buyer should be accurate about the product. There should be when you talk about product descriptions, you need to, and the highlights, you need to ensure that the feature benefit is kept in mind when you're talking about a highlight, so that buyer makes an informed decision.
Right.
So again, the way this can also be broken down into three different things. One is specifically related to the catalog attribute and the image accuracy. So the starting point here is to ensure that you are capturing the right kind of attributes when you are talking about your specific product, right? As I gave an example earlier about the apparel category, where the material of the fabric is a critical attribute to have. Similarly, let's say if we talk about footwear category, and in terms of shoes, now there are so many different kind of segmentations that you can do for the shoes, right? So even within sports shoes, there are different kinds of sports that have a specific kind of footwear available for them, right? So you need to ensure that when you are talking about sports shoes as a particular vertical, you need to ensure that you capture the right attributes.
Right.
Again, benchmarking helps you here, because you can benchmark against your competition who's selling the similar kind of product. What kind of attributes do they provide values for versus what kind of attributes do you capture? So, so this is the first step here. Apart from the competition, there are also as an organization, I would say we can help you decide, provide with the information regarding the right kind of attributes for a particular vertical that you need to capture. But this is only limited to the attributes. The other thing that is critical here is the kind of attribute values now that you get into. Again, very important activity. You need to ensure that the right attributes are captured, the right kind of attribute values are captured, and again, as I mentioned, across your platforms, the information should be consistent. So the next thing here is about the images. So you need to ensure that you provide maximum amount of images, the high as in the images with the right resolution, the images that give the complete view of the product. That is also very critical here. While doing benchmarking, what we also capture is that are your attribute values in sync with the information that is there that can be gauged through the image.
Right.
We have a lot of times we have seen that attribute value, let's say color is an attribute value, it gives one information, but when you look at the image, the information that you gather from that about the color attribute is different. Right. So attribute details accuracy with respect to the product is very important. The one thing that also needs to be looked at is again, we have seen this even with the big e-commerce players, that there's information mismatch between two different attributes. So that again is something which is very important to be we need to ensure that that's captured correctly.
Right.
So this is about catalog attribute and image accuracy.
Yeah. Right. So listening to you, I suddenly got an idea. This is an in-depth subject we can explore much in detail. So maybe I can get your time to schedule a good webinar on this, so that more people can take this information home and refer to it later, and get back to us with any questions they have. That's a fantastic idea there. All right. So Vivek, since you can keep on going on about this, I know that, so I wanted to ask you one question. It's a very stupid question to ask, but I want to ask this because, why do you think e-commerce companies, benchmarking exercise is a must-have exercise at this point of time?
Okay. I think I have already provided a lot of information regarding this. But yeah,
Right.
maybe to summarize, if you are looking for a boost in your conversions, boost in your sales, if you're looking for enhancing your customer experience, and also if you're looking for improving your overall business processes, I think this is a must. This activity will really give you the kind of insights that that will help you in all these different areas. And as you can start this with one-time activity, but I would recommend to all the players within this space to keep doing this as an ongoing activity, because it's an ever-changing world, ever-changing product catalogs. So, but these are the three areas. If you really want to work on these three areas, benchmarking will give you the right kind of insights.
Right. So now, since we are part of a team, I wanna bring, put the spotlight on our team. So how does this benchmarking, e-commerce benchmarking methodology of MattsenKumar team, our team, how did that evolve and reach the current stage, and how different is it?
Okay. So it's actually it's backed by years of our experience in running e-commerce service operations for many different organizations. We work with global leaders within this space. We work with leaders in the Indian market within this space, and through these years, we have developed our own learnings and come up with these best practices. And the way we define our e-commerce benchmarking is it's a three-step process for us. We call it measure, rectify, and grow. So it starts with measuring where we stand currently, and then it's followed by when I say rectify, I mean how do we now take it to the next level. By measuring, we got to know that where do we stand. Through rectifying, we would improve it and take it to the next level. And the third step is grow, which means that it has to be an ongoing process, and we need to continuously make those changes to keep growing in that space. So it's a three-step process for us: measure, rectify, and grow. And I as I mentioned that because it's backed with years of experience, so the kind of insights that we will be able to generate for your organization would really benefit.
I understood. I got that. All right. So we are coming to the end of the discussion. So a couple of questions. So the one thing is, what are the areas, whenever you have done benchmarking for some of the players in the international as well as Indian market, what are some of the areas where you have seen companies getting quicker results? Number one. And number two is, how long does the project run for? What is the duration for a typical benchmarking project?
Okay. See, talking about duration of a benchmarking project, and I would actually not just call it a project, but that can be a first step. If you really want to test the waters and understand how this works, you can do a sample study, and the duration of that study would really depend on the scope of the project. Are you focusing on one particular vertical, or are you focusing on one particular the complete category? And do you want to do a sample study, or do you really want to maybe within that particular vertical look at the complete vertical and understand what are the opportunity areas for you? So the duration really depends on the scope of the project. But I would rather not call it a project, because as I mentioned, this has to be an ongoing activity. You can begin with doing a dip check on a sample basis to gauge the health of your product discovery and the accuracy of your and richness of your catalog. but at the same time, you need to ensure that this activity keeps happening on regular basis. We are working with certain clients for whom we like if I talk about catalog accuracy and content richness space, we are working with clients where we check 100% of their listings that come to their platform.
Wow.
So
Okay.
because this client doesn't really want to take any chance, so they need to they want to ensure that everything that comes to their platform meets the guidelines that are defined for their platform. So it's 100% check for them. For product discovery, we have been working with clients where we do a sample check, but it's a regular ongoing activity, and this has been running in for many years for these clients. So if you want to, as in try and if you want to first understand and gauge the kind of results that you get from this activity, you can do a small sample study. But otherwise, and I'm sure once you do that, you will realize the benefits that this entire service offering gives you, and you would want to do that as a regular activity.
Fantastic. That makes sense, actually. It's an ongoing process, as you mentioned. So my last question for the day is, once the project is on, or maybe it's nearing the end of one study, what are the follow-up activities typical benchmark study entails? What are the follow-up activities which you should focus on?
So yeah, as I mentioned, we follow a 3-step process.
Right.
Measure, rectify, and grow. So once you measure, the follow-up activity has to be to rectify and then to grow. A lot of times we work very closely with our clients in the space of rectify and grow, because not everything would be in our control in this space. But then as an organization, you would need regular insights so that you can work it. You can improve your performance from the current levels and then to grow further. So in this space of rectify and grow, we work very closely with our clients, and we keep providing them regular insights, deep level analytics, and then they can use those insights to improve their internal processes. So this is how it works.
All right. Thank you so much, Vivek. That was super insightful. I'm pretty sure a lot of our followers who belong to e-commerce organizations would have got a lot to take notes of. And I thank you for your time, and hoping to see you soon on the show.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for having me here, and I'm hopeful people who were listening to us did get some insights, and yes, definitely we can plan more sessions around this. And I'm pretty confident that once you work with us in this space, you would really understand the kind of benefits that this particular service offering gives you, and would want to continue in this space. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Vivek.
Thank you so much. All right, so that was Vivek Anand, guys. This is a real time with MK. So the conversation is as real as it gets. People like Vivek, they carry immense amount of experience in running operations for some of the biggest e-commerce firms across the globe. So benchmarking, I promise that I will bring insightful webinar soon. That's a promise. And I will bring Vivek back on to give more insights, because it's not a topic which we can discuss in 40 minutes and end it. So it's if you guys want more information on this, we are always available at MattsenKumar.com, or else you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find Vivek Anand on LinkedIn and shoot us a hello, and we will be with you shortly. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon. I'm not giving a date because I need to check with my guests when they will be free for this. So with an exciting topic, we will be back soon with Real Time with MK. Thank you so much for watching.